everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Monica, and this is episode 8 of my playthrough of Sweet Transit version 1.1. I've changed my recording setup a little bit, so if things look a little different, that's the reason why. I'm now recording directly on the Steam Deck rather than through Steam Remote Play. So last time, I was upgrading my stations and making some other changes in anticipation of having longer trains and faster trains. The last place that I changed was the Potato Farm Station, so I'm going to continue along the rail from here. Our next stop is the Coal Mine Station. Coal Mine Station is actually going to require some work. We want to pause the game. I should be good at this point. I've been thinking about the Coal Mine Station and realizing that I want to completely redesign the station itself. So I'm going to remove a bunch of stuff, including the station itself. Start with all of the rail coming into the station. And I will probably have to move at least some of these towers as well. So I might as well remove you right now. I will no longer need this bridge. I will not need these poles or towers. And we'll take things from there. Okay. And let me just go ahead and remove the station right now as well. Alright, now that all of that's removed, I will build a new station. And I want to position this new station here. Let me get my spacing right. I need you to be there, I believe. And now we can add new rails. Well, platforms first. So my future plans involve sending potentially lots of trains to this station. So I want to make sure that the station has lots of platforms. It's the big reason to be doing this right now and to be doing this like this. I don't actually know that I will need this many platforms, but I figure too many is probably better than not enough. And I will send the trains in on the side that's closest to me, and so I'll put all my bridges over on the side as well. And now rail. We'll see what turns out to be in the way and what is okay for us. You need to be coming to here, and then I would really like this rail to be right here, which means I need to remove you as well. And so the plan on the other side, I should have just gone ahead and removed all of this stuff before building anything out, because it all has to go. We will build you to there, I think, right? You're not giving me the merge that I want, so you will be coming this way. And then let me remove some signals, more than enough, and bring back this blueprint. I want it this way, and you want to go here. Now the only question is, can I connect this rail around the way I want it to go? Almost. Alright, let me undo a couple of things. Naturally, that's the order I did things in. I want to put this blueprint a step further away, and before I do that, I do need to remove the signals first. Both rails, thank you. And now one more attempt. Alright, so if that was where I had it last time, I think that means I need you here. And now this rail will come around. How am I getting this so wrong? I will take that. And remove that little bit of extra rail, and then connect you around. Okay, you're fine. And then connect all of these. Alright, so that's all the rail, and now we need to make sure we have all the signals we need. I'm gonna add in a few more on the main track, since I removed a whole bunch from here. And that's got that covered, and then there, and there. I'm just going to assume I want to have signals everywhere conceivable to make it as easy as possible for trains to get in and out of the station. And we'll add the mid-station signals here. And on the way in, okay, we need all of these. And we also need a bunch of chain signals. Okay, so that takes care of the rail. Now we need to reconnect you to the coal mines. And we also need to connect you to the coal plants. Alright, so everything's reconnected. I will rename you Coal Mine Station. So, same as the old Coal Mine Station. So, I hope now that all of my routes are going to be correct. Yes, you know you're coming to Coal Mine Station, and the other one is Workers. And you know you're going to Coal Mine Station, so those are all good. But I will need to connect my inputs and outputs from everything, really. And this distribution center, again, will take no input and will output to the station, although it doesn't have any coal right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll have to check all of our rates to make sure that they all work out. And your inputs is the station, and your inputs I want to make you the station as well. So everything's fixed. Everything should be running. The coal plant. I think I've been thinking about this incorrectly. I think the story of the coal plant is that its own capacity to deliver coal is very small. Throughput, it says 4.2. And so I need to have couriers to deliver the coal to the coal plant instead. And I was trying to do that with this distribution center. And I think that's making things more complicated than they need to be. I don't really need a distribution center here. What I need, I think, is just a courier station. So this is the upgraded courier station. Let me zoom in so I can actually look at it and decide if the orientation makes any difference. And the answer is basically no. We'll put you there. And then your input is going to be the station, and your output is going to be the coal plant. And we want to make sure that we're carrying at least 66 per minute, so I will just double the number of workers. And the courier station takes craftspeople, unlike the courier shack, which takes laborers. So I don't actually have any craftspeople available to work there at this point. And everything's rebuilt. I should be able to restart. So I don't have any craftspeople who are available to come here because all of the workers who are coming to this station are coming from Madrid. So, next step, clearly come over to Madrid and upgrade you so I can now have craftspeople. And I really just need the one residence for the craftspeople right now. I will need more later, but one is good enough for now. We will put you there. And you need electricity. So, speaking of electricity, I removed a whole bunch of high voltage power poles earlier. I should restore them. So if I do this one here, you connect directly to the coal plant, and so I don't even need this one. And we don't have any connection going in this direction. So, okay, we'll do it like this. There we go. Now all or nearly all of my rail at the station will have electricity as well. It looks like nearly all. The platform that's closest to the station itself may not actually have electricity all the way down. So now do I have electricity restored everywhere? Why don't we ask? You have 105 megawatts produced, consumption of 12 megawatts. Most of our power consumption is over here. So just making sure you still think we're getting power. Substation is capable of delivering power to the brickworks, but the brickworks is out of goods. So we'll have to work on fixing that. And I should fix that right now. You have as many workers as I want you to have, or as many workers as you can have. Let me try adding a courier station here as well. Do I want to just put you right here? And if I'm producing 80, at least potentially 83, then I need to be delivering 160. And you are carrying both clay and coal. And for 160, I'll make you 25. And those workers will come from Manama, and so we have no problem there. Back to Madrid. No, back to Madrid. Here we were. And right, the workers here are unhappy because they don't have access to electricity. I would think that it would say it like here directly, and so people aren't moving in. Yeah, they're unhappy because there's no electrical power. And so, where are my power poles? We need to add a substation for Madrid. I think I want the substation to be over here, I think. Let me put it, actually, there, just to be in keeping with how I tend to build out my roads. And so we'll give you this power pole, and then we need the low voltage poles coming across the town. There we are. That's enough poles for right now, and the craftsmen will start moving in, and as they move in, they will go work at this courier station, and hopefully that will fix your problems. You are unhappy because all of your workers are tired and you need new workers. We will hope the train carrying workers will get there soon and take care of that. And speaking of workers, Madrid has 1,400 or nearly 1,500 workers right now, just among the laborers. And I've been thinking that I want to have twice as many workers available to work as are actually working. And so that means I need to add a bunch of laborers' residences to Madrid. And so where do I want to put them? I'll add some here, and I will add another one here. That one's currently out of range of the station, but I think I can fix that. I think it's out of range of the station. I think that's what this was showing. There we go. you're now back in range, and let me add another one there as well, and across here, and let's extend these roads out some more. I want this road to come this way, and these should be good places for more residences. So where are we at now? Let me check. I currently have 68 built. I was thinking that I wanted 70. So where else? Let's extend these roads. All right, that should support more laborers in Madrid, so we will have more laborers when we need them. Like Manama, like Nicosia, I want to replace this train station, but I'm not going to do it right now because I want to wait until I have steel bridges available. And I think I already have the station and the storage set up. Like I did with Nicosia and Manama, I want to be using a small storage in each town to manage the goods rather than trying to manage the number of goods that are kept at the station. And so we have this small storage, which is delivering stone to all of the stone works. And I think we have a numbers problem here. We have 9 stoneworks. They're consuming stone at a rate of 17 per minute, which is 150, 160 total, something like that. And so the question is, can I actually deliver? Which one was it? It was you. 160 stone. And you seem to be saying yes. Kind of don't quite believe you. Let me increase you to 25, so you're now carrying 200, which should be more than enough. See, I'm bothered by the fact that the small storage is currently empty. That tells me that I don't have enough couriers because the platform's not empty, is it? No, the platform is empty. Okay, so then my problem with stone is my train, so good thing I'm planning to upgrade my train soon. And then we also have all the other kinds of goods that go to the market are being brought by this courier shack to this small storage, and then from that small storage to the market. And so again, as long as the station is kept supplied, which it isn't always at this point, everything will be good. Although I do want to rethink this. I now have in Madrid 70 residences. So they want to be consuming a total of 280 of the various kinds of goods per minute. So I need to be able to deliver 280, which I currently cannot. So let's increase the number of couriers here to 30. All right, how about 35? All right, and I think that's everything that I want to do at Madrid right now. So we will continue around. What is unhappy right now? 2 places are saying they don't have enough workers. Both of my courier stations haven't gotten their workers yet. And then apparently everybody in Nicosia is complaining about not having enough work. Again, I'm just prefer to hope that things will just fix themselves if I ignore them. And so I'm going to come over to the sawmill station and just double check everything here. You are all delivering directly to the station. Yeah, I know I've looked at these before. You are delivering to the station and you have support turned on. The station itself, I think is okay. Oh, except that the signals aren't right. We'll add that and we will remove both of these. Those are all fine. And we want to change you to a chain signal as well. One other little detail here. This station is also rotated backwards. So like I did last episode with the cotton farm, I think, I'm going to turn the station around now. There we are. And changing the signals here reminds me that I should double check my signals at Madrid Station. What do they look like? The signals look pretty good, except I really want you to be here and here. And I'm okay with the signals where they are alongside the platforms. And you are in the wrong place. I want to put you here. And related to that, the station itself wants a couple more individual platform segments. Somehow I missed this one when I was expanding the station earlier. And I never put in this one because I was intending to put the bridge across. And now that I'm not, because I'm going to be replacing the station anyway, I should put that in until I'm able to do that. And one more thing I wanted to do. A couple of episodes ago, I talked about chain signals and how they can be used to prevent a group of trains from becoming deadlocked, where the trains are positioned in such a way that none of the trains can move without another train moving first. And looking at the way I have my network built out currently, there is in fact one place where that can occur. And it can occur with the route going from Madrid Station to the coal mine station and back. That route creates a closed loop that trains can potentially be traveling on, or at least be traveling on parts of. And the danger of trains getting deadlocked is if you have a closed loop and a train tries to enter and has to stop in a position where it blocks another train from leaving the loop. So the usual solution with that is to place chain signals where you need to prevent trains from entering the loop unless you know that they can successfully leave as well. I'm not actually going to do that right now, but I am going to put a chain signal right here, and that will actually slow down trains coming into the station a little bit. But the trade-off is that if a deadlock somehow happens, which when I'm using the longer trains, it seems like it might be possible. And it seems like in order for it to happen, most of the trains in the game would have to be involved in it. But if the deadlock happens, I'm hoping that that chain signal will save me, essentially. That this chain signal will give me a space to let trains out so they won't actually get stuck. Okay, and now I really am done with Madrid. And so the only place left is Vatican City. And Vatican City, we need to start with this rail. Again, when I was talking about signals a couple of episodes ago, you may have noticed the signal blocks. It turns out that the piece of rail, which is running from the northeast to the southwest, I never bothered to put any signals on at all because no trains are running on that rail. But the problem is that same piece of rail crosses this piece of track and also crosses this piece of track, or merges with this piece of track. And that means that these two pieces of track are the same signal block because there are no signals in between. And this train, as it was coming out, just got held up for a second or two. It was really brief, but it did happen right now that that train was held up leaving Vatican City because there was a train passing through on the other side entering Vatican City. So just careless with not putting signals where I need them to be to actually keep my blocks separated. And so we will fix that one. And then other changes that I wanted to make in Vatican City are because of the changes I've made, there's a bunch of extra rail still sitting around. So I'd like to remove all of it. Can I do this way? Will you do this correctly? Probably not. You will. And then this last bit. And also I have the high voltage power lines going out to cover the tracks, which no longer exist. So I'm going to take all of these out as well. All right, and so that's all cleaned up, and I wanted to look at my signals coming into the station a bit. The track is so far away, it won't fix everything, but having those chain signals will help a little bit. All right, and so Vatican City Station should be good. Double check my signals one more time. I guess I can add in this group. Why not? And then the next thing to do was to work on the storage in Vatican City. And so right now I have all the fish going to this small storage and this small storage going to the station. If I want to be using a small storage to supply the market, I think that's actually a little far away. So I'm going to add a new small storage here. Make sure it's actually not on the road as I'm trying to place it. Actually, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and put it like this instead. And the plan is we need a courier shack. And the courier shack can go here, and your input will be the station, and you will be carrying bread, clothes, and potato. These need to be separate filters: bread, clothes, and potatoes. And you are carrying them to this small storage, and then this market will have as its input this small storage. And also, we want to redirect all of the fishing docks to deliver to the small storage that I just built rather than the older one. There we go. And this small storage has a few more fish in it. It has 4 fish at the moment. These couriers are taking those fish to the station. Once those are all delivered, I will remove this small storage. But while I'm talking about fish deliveries, I need to look at my fish production. Right now, I have 4 fishing docks. Each fishing dock produces 20. It's actually a little bit higher because of the specialization multiplier. But that's only 80. And at this point, having added a couple of more residences in various places, I'm up to 154 total. So I really need to have enough fishing docks to produce 154. So we will take care of that. And here and there, I think is the best option. So I now have 8 fishing docks, and they now all have road connections. So they should all have workers very soon. and that's 160 just by themselves, and then because of the production multiplier, it's going to be even higher than that. So I should have lots of fish coming to everywhere else soon. And so just double check, you no longer have any en route, which means this small storage is completely redundant. I will remove you. But it means this courier shack needs to be delivering just fish from this small storage. And we want to make sure that since this courier shack is pulling fish from the storage very quickly, we want to make sure this market has access to the fish. So I'm going to protect a small amount. We'll protect 10%. So the courier shack will never take the last 50, and so the last 50 can always go to the market. That should be enough to keep the market supplied. And now we want to do the same thing here. We now have 528 workers in Vatican City, so I really want to have at least 1,000 residents. And so let me add a few more residences. This is all good. Let me add a road here. So my concern with doing this is, what is the range of the station? And it turns out that the range of the station is plenty large, so I can put you right here without any problems. Although now you don't have access to water, so we will add this water tower here. Okay, I think that's all the upgrades that I wanted to do. All right, now that I've made the changes that I wanted to all of the stations and to the settlements, I can start building the longer trains. And I already have congestion problems with some of my trains, traffic getting into and out of some of the stations, and doubling the length of the trains and having the trains go faster probably won't cause any problems at all, right? Well, no. Okay, I do have limits. I do have a tendency in this game to say things like, I'll do this the easy way first and fix it later, and often I will regret that choice later. And I also often say things like, I'm not sure if this seems like a good idea, but I'm doing it anyway. But when I'm saying that second one in particular, it's because I'm making choices which I think are, at the very least, interesting. So they seem worth doing even if they seem to have certain potential disadvantages. And just having a lot of longer trains running around on the same tracks and potentially blocking each other from getting to all of their destinations does not seem like the smart way to do this. It seems like I'm just causing too many potential problems for myself. As you can see right now, 2 different long trains passing through Madrid Station. So before I upgrade the trains, I want to work on my routes. So I'm going to start with the easier ones to change first and then sort of work my way up to the harder ones. My thinking is, I've talked about how I want the storage in the settlements controlling the train delivery rather than the routes controlling the delivery. So things I want my trains to do are, when they load, they should be able to fully load. If they don't fully load, that's a sign that I'm not producing enough. Trains should then have to wait before making a delivery. If they're not making a delivery, that's really a sign that I don't have enough transport available with my trains, and so I need to be adding trains. And then finally, I need to make sure that trains aren't running out of fuel. So let's take a look. Bricks delivery is a good starting point. So it will be loading at South Coal Mine Station. It will be unloading at Madrid Station. South Coal Mine Station produces coal. Madrid Station also has coal and will continue to have coal because of the warehouse. So I don't have to worry about fuel for this train. I just have to worry about making sure it's delivering at the right time. And so my new wait condition is going to be for 20 seconds, which should be long enough for the train to fully load, assuming that my production is high enough. But then I'm going to add an optional stop at Madrid Station, which is going to check the level of bricks. And the wait condition here is if the station cargo amount is greater than or equal to 100, go to 1. So this train will now only be going to Madrid Station if Madrid Station has less than 100 bricks, which means that at that point the warehouse will start having reduced numbers of bricks. And so this is the basic setup that I'm going to be using. Other trains I'm going to have to think more about fueling. Clay delivery. So I had set this one up as load until cargo's at 100. I think I really just want to be relying on time passed. So I'm going to change this visit to load and add the filter for loading clay, and then remove this first one, and then change the time passed duration to 20 seconds. And then my go to got lost. It'll be go to 1. I know I increased the station cargo. I'm going to turn it back down, committing to this being 100 everywhere. We will hope all of this will work. Honestly, my expectation is that as I'm making these changes, it may make some of my deliveries worse than they currently are. But we will see what things look like after I upgrade the trains, and if I still have problems at that point, it should be easier for me to see what the problems are and to try to fix them. That is my hope for how all of this will work, at least. Other ones that I want to take care of right now. Cotton to Nicosia. Start the same way. Duplicate the unload, set an optional for cotton, and remove the existing weight condition and add the new one for station cargo amount greater than or equal to 100, go to 1, and your load condition is for 20 seconds. And another change that I'm going to be making is I'm not going to be delivering coal to the stations anymore. I want the trains to take care of picking up coal themselves when they need to. And so it wasn't a problem for the previous routes because they're both going to stations. It was 2 previous routes at this point, right? They were going or coming from stations which will still have coal. But in the long run, neither of these 2 stations will have coal. So after we go to Nicosia Station, we want another destination, which is the coal mine station. And so this is the real reason why I expanded the coal mine station. We're going to duplicate you, and the first one is going to be optional. And the option is if the option I'm selecting says for full of fuel. This is misleading. It really allows you to set a fuel level as a percentage, so we will change you to 25%. I'm guessing at that number. If fuel on the train is greater than 25%, we will just go back to the cotton farm and load and wait. And otherwise, we go to the coal mine, and there we just visit. And I don't think I need a wait condition at all. You're just going to visit. And this looks correct. And I'm doing this the exciting way. I am making all my changes while my trains are running. We will see if anything is broken by the time I finish with this and take things from there. So that was cotton. And skipping the more complicated ones, stone and sand to Madrid is almost that straightforward, except that I want to split this into 2 different routes. So I'm going to rename the existing route just stone to Madrid, and you will only load stone. And we will duplicate and then set the optional to check stone level. And stone is this one. And our condition is station cargo amount greater than or equal to 100. And then it can come unload. And so since I'm doing this with stone, I need another new route. I need a sand delivery route. And this will come from Quarry Station, where it will load only sand. And the weight condition is for time passed. As I'm changing this weight condition, I think I have to go back and double check my weight condition on the stone delivery. And then deliver to Madrid Station with the optional as always. And we definitely need the filter on this. And you look right. Of course, we don't have a train on this route yet. So I will fix that when I start making all my other changes to my trains. And yeah, I wanted to change this weight condition. Yeah, we can see trains are currently coming non-stop to Madrid Station, so this is why I didn't want to suddenly throw a bunch more longer trains into this rail network, because this problem would just be worse. And only 2 more of these easier routes to deal with. The first is wheat to Manama. Once again, wait for 20 seconds. And then duplicate you and set optional, add the filter for wheat, and the weight condition, station cargo amount greater than or equal to 100. And then again, Manama Station and Wheat Farm Station both will not have coal in the future. So I will add South Coal Mine Station, and this is just a visit, and no weight condition at all, but then we will duplicate and make you optional. And the optional on this, again, for full of fuel, but it's really fuel at greater than or equal to 25%. I hope that setting the fuel to 25% is the right amount, that the trains will wait for the right amount of time to go and get more fuel and they won't run out while they are waiting. If this ends up not working like this, then I can work on redesigning things. And last of these cargo deliveries that are only going to a single destination is the Wood to Madrid train. And so all the same things. And duplicate, set optional, add filter on wood, weight condition, station cargo amount. So the idea here is now all of these cargo trains should be sitting and waiting until they're loading for 20 seconds, which should be long enough for them to always completely fill. If they don't completely fill, I need to increase my production. And then they should continue to wait before making the delivery. And if they don't continue to wait, that's a sign that I really need to be running another train on that route. So those are the easy ones. Now we can work on the harder ones, which are these routes that involve going to multiple stations. And so we want to have the same basic setup. You want to be loading for time pass of 20 seconds. And then I think I want to invert the order of these. I think I want to be going to Nicosia first, which means that all of my ifs are going to be in the wrong place. And then, so let me just remove both of the conditionals. And then Madrid, and then Vatican City. And all of these unloads are now just until done. So for each of these, we want to duplicate and then set an optional on bread and station cargo amount greater than 100. And you will go to, well, it will be 4, but let me actually create the optional first. So if you are good, then you just skip to 4. And then if you are good, you are going to skip to 6. And then the delivery to Vatican City will go to 1. Except that I'm now worried about this train getting enough fuel. And so the place where I want to add this is after Vatican City Station. I want to add South Coal Mine Station, and you are just a visit. And the optional is going to be, again, select for full of fuel, so I can change the fuel level to 25%. And then you go to 1. And so I think this makes sense. The train will load up and wait until it needs to make a delivery somewhere, and then after it makes that delivery, it will check to see if it has enough fuel. And so the other check that I need to make is after it delivers at each station, I need another conditional. So I can do it here. And this conditional is if I'm going to select for empty cargo, because this also allows me to set things as percentages, and it's percentages of what's on the train. So we'll say if the cargo is less than 25%, then the place where you want to go is 9, right? So if you deliver to Nicosia, then you check to see if you have enough cargo for it to make sense for you to deliver anywhere else, and if not, you just refuel. And then you need to go to 5. And we'll do the same thing after visiting Madrid. How about if I duplicate this one, and then we'll make the one after the optional. And again, we want the filter on bread, and our condition is less than or equal to 25%. I think this condition should almost always be satisfied. If it's making a delivery, it should be at a low enough cargo level that it needs to come back. And then you are go to 10 as well. Are all of these correct? Right, so it loads at Manama Station. It loads for 20 seconds. That should be long enough to completely fill the train. Then, if Nicosia has enough, it skips to Madrid. If Nicosia does not have enough, it delivers at Nicosia. It then checks whether it's still carrying bread. Even after it makes a delivery, it may still have enough bread to keep going. But if it doesn't, it's going to skip ahead. And then for Madrid Station, it does the same check. If the station cargo is greater than 100, Madrid is fine, and it will skip to Vatican City. On the other hand, if Madrid is not fine, it unloads, and then it checks what its cargo level is. And if its cargo level is too low, it skips to the refueling check. And then finally, Vatican City is our last destination. Again, we check the station cargo. If it's fine, it skips ahead. Otherwise, it unloads at Vatican City. And then, since that's the last destination, we don't need another check. And so it can just fall through to the question of whether or not to refuel. And if its fuel is at greater than 25%, it doesn't need to refuel, and it'll go back to the top and reload and wait. Otherwise, it will stop off at the South Coal Mine Station, which will have coal, and it will refuel. I have this set to visit and no wait condition. Do I want to add a wait condition for full fuel, or trust that the station will never run out of coal? I'm going to trust that the station will never run out of coal, and that won't come back to bite me at all, I'm sure. So that's how I'm doing all of these deliveries that are going to multiple places. Clothing deliveries, the same thing. Wants to load at Nicosia, And then from Nicosia, Manama first, and load for 20 seconds. And then we'll have to check what our destinations are on all of these deliveries. Let me put these in the correct order. So, keep thinking, is there a right way to order how I add these to make it as easy as possible for me to get all this stuff correct? And I don't think there is necessarily a correct way to do it. We also want you going to the South Coal Mine Station to refuel. We'll put you after the visit to Manama because you're kind of on the way. Do I want to put you here? Let me put the fuel check right now. Sort of thinking through this logic on the fly. So how do I want this to work? You're going to attempt to deliver to Manama, and then here, and you're just a visit, we want to check what the train spread level is. Then we will go to 1. So if you don't visit Manama, you want to skip South Coal Mine Station. You want to go to, well, yeah, it'll be 7, but let me add the optional, and then add 1 more to check. And then finally, and then after either Madrid or Vatican City, if you need to refuel, you want to refuel at Coal Mine Station. So I think those are all the pieces. Now I need to make sure that I'm going to the right places every time. We are loading. If Manama Station has clothes, oh wait, this is clothing delivery. That's why you need to double check your routes every time. Okay, you load clothing at Nicosia Station for 20 seconds, which should be long enough to fully load. Then, if Manama Station has clothing, you will skip ahead to the Madrid Station delivery, right? And then, if it does unload, it will check its fuel level. If its fuel level is okay, so no, you want to be 7. You want to be this destination. Yes. And then, if it does make a delivery, it checks its fuel level. And if its fuel level is greater than 25, it doesn't need to get fuel, and so it wants to go to this check of its cargo level. And if its cargo level is low, it goes back to Nicosia. And then if it gets to Madrid, it's checking Madrid's cargo level. If the station cargo is greater than or equal to 100, then it wants to go to Vatican City. Otherwise, it delivers at Madrid Station and then checks. You are going to go to 12. So if it makes a delivery to Madrid Station, it checks to see if it needs to refuel. Then it checks to see if it needs to make a delivery at Vatican City Station. And where do you go? Are you go to 1 or you go to 12? You go to 1. The question is, if it delivers to Madrid and somehow has more than 25%, then it still wants to do the fuel check. But if it doesn't deliver anywhere, it doesn't want to be coming to Coal Mine Station. Do I need 2 of these? If so, how would that work? I'm not going to worry about it. There's a slight chance that it'll deliver to Madrid, and then it will really need to refuel and end up not refueling. But I don't have a good solution to that. Unless I don't have it refuel here, unless I have it always refuel, that's the way to do it. Change your destination to South Coal Mine Station. I was thinking it's convenient if it's down... No, wait, this is the clothing delivery. This is fine. Let me change you to go to 12. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And again, hoping I'm not making things worse rather than better by doing all of this, but hoping that by making this change, I'm giving myself more control. And... right, I was already playing around with my cargo levels for the fish delivery from picking up from Vatican City Station, but we want to simplify this. 20, and then we will go. Let me remove all of the conditionals first. Okay, we do actually want a Madrid Station delivery. So we'll do all of these and then check for fuel at the end, and you will just be Coal Mine Station. You are fine. And you are visit, and all of these deliveries are just until dawn. And so now we add the conditionals. Fish is station cargo amount is greater than 100. Go to Madrid Station. After we deliver to Madrid Station, we have an optional. If cargo amount, no, I want the percentage, so it has to be empty cargo. It's 25. Then we will skip to refueling. Then Nicosia. Check the level at Nicosia. And then after Nicosia, set the level on the train, or check the level on the train. And then Manama, check to see if we need to deliver to you. And then one last check, do we need to refuel? So we will load at Vatican City, we will check Madrid Station. If Madrid is fine, we skip to Nicosia. If it does deliver at Madrid, we check whether the cargo is low, and if it is, we go to the refueling check. And then Nicosia, if the station is fine, we skip ahead to Manama. And then if it needs fish, it unloads. And then if it does unload, then it checks if it needs to refuel. And then finally, Manama checks for delivery. If it doesn't need to deliver, it goes to the fuel check. And then the fuel check, if it has enough fuel, it just reloads. Otherwise, it stops and gets fuel. And that was fish. Potatoes. Right now I have 2 different routes. I want to only have 1 route. So the order I want to go in is from the potato farm to Madrid, to Nicosia, Manama to Vatican City. Sure. We're not expecting it to ever deliver to more than 1 location. And then refuel at Coal Mine Station. And we add all the conditionals one more time. And then we'll add the filter for potatoes. And then Manama. And then finally Vatican City. And the check at the coal mine. Alright, and so now to fix all of my go-tos. If Madrid Station has cargo, you want to go to 5. If we've delivered at Madrid Station, we want to go to the check for fuel, which is 13. If Nicosia has potatoes, we want to go to 8. If you've delivered, we want to check for fuel at 13. If Manama has potatoes, we want to go to Vatican City and then check for fuel at 13. And Vatican City, we'll just go to 13. And if you have fuel, you'll just immediately load up on more potatoes. So that's worked out. That means we don't actually need this route anymore. So I'm going to send this train. Well, okay, you're making a delivery right now. I always feel like it's rude to send a train to the depot when it's making a delivery. So we will come back to you in a moment. Instead, we want to move on to... Okay, those are all the deliveries. So now it's the various trains which are carrying workers or passenger trains. Brickworks Local is just the tram or the trolley which is doing the loop at the Brickworks. It's fine. Madrid Workers is fine. It's going to lots of places. It is keeping busy. I'm not worried about that one. The other workers, Manama workers, my question is, do I have space to wait? So I'm going to have the bricks train waiting at South Coal Mine Station. But that should be it. The clay train is waiting at the clay pits, and that coal train I'm just going to take out of service. So I think I have space. So I just want this train to run less often. And so my wait condition is going to be for time passed. Can I not set it this high? We'll try it. I cannot set it that high. I can only set it to 60. That's unfortunate. Can I? I'd like to think about how to get the passenger trains to wait. Because the problem with the passenger trains is we don't have the full range of options for the wait conditions. We have for full passenger load and for no passengers, which are both percentages. We have for passengers amount, which is a fixed number. We have fully rested and fully tired, which again are percentages, and for rested amount, which is a fixed number. But we don't have any way to check for passengers at station platforms. So what I would like for this train to do is wait at South Coal Mine Station until there are workers at Manama Station who want to come to South Coal Mine Station, and then only go then. But that's not really an option, because I can only look at the number of passengers on the train. And so I was going to add just a time pass to make it wait at where it delivers the workers before it comes back to pick up more, just so it will run a little less frequently. I don't think I can do better than that. And at this point, this train is finished making its deliveries, so I will just send you to the depot. So I'm going to leave you just wait for 60 seconds and think about if there's a way to make it wait longer, and if I want to be trying to do that. We'll do the same thing for the Nicosia workers to industries. You will wait at the clay pit for the maximum time, which is apparently 60 seconds. And then the traveler's train can just keep running, but the Vatican workers, we want to do the same thing. And we will hope that changing these to wait for 60 seconds means that these trains will just run a little more slowly. They won't be on the tracks quite as much, but they will still run frequently enough that all of the destinations will have fresh workers. That is my hope. We'll see if that ends up working out the way that I intended to. And the other routes to look at. I deliberately put off the coal routes to last, and those are the only two? Yes. And you, very simply, are... Oh, wait. I forgot a step. Nicosia is not going to be able to expect to pick up fuel anywhere. And so we will have you stop at South Coal Mine Station. You're just visiting. You are not swapping workers, and make you optional. And your weight condition is fuel is greater than 25%. Okay, good. There's a slight danger when doing this that it will attempt to swap workers at South Coal Mine Station, which I really don't want it to do. The other one was Vatican workers, needs to have the same thing. So where are you right now? You are headed to Vatican City Station, add Coal Mine Station, visit, and add the optional for the fuel check. And let me double check. I've been clearing all the weight conditions on the visits, and assuming that won't cause any problems for me, we'll see what happens when they actually start having to do that. And it's going to be a while for the coal to settle out, because right now I'm delivering coal everywhere. And the whole point of what I'm doing is I don't want to be delivering coal everywhere. I just want to be delivering coal to Madrid at this point. And so let me remove you, and then remove you, and add the optional to check Madrid's level. And this is an exception to setting my station cargo amounts to 100 everywhere. This needs to be large because I'm not storing the fuel anywhere else. The fuel has to be stored at the station. So I'm going to make you 1000 and hope that is high enough. Obviously, I could set that to a much larger number, and maybe I will need to. And so this change in the coal delivery is going to take a while to work itself out. And this train, again, I am just going to take you out of service, and I am happy taking you out of service right now. And that is all of the route updates that I needed to do. There's one more thing I need to do before I can start upgrading my trains, which is I need to come to my stamps. The longest trains that I'm running right now have a length of 21.9. Those are a few trains I have that have 12 cargo wagons. Unfortunately, the new engines that we have are longer than the existing engine. So if I attempt to upgrade those trains, the trains will actually be too long for my depot. So my solution is to upgrade the maximum train length of a depot using stamps. So I'm just going to do that twice. And so now I can handle slightly longer trains, which is all I really need. The trains will be a little bit longer than 22 tiles, but the last wagon on the train should still fit inside the station, and we'll still be able to load and unload. And so while I'm upgrading things, I might as well upgrade using my goods stamps. We will just spread things around, and my destination stamps will do the same thing. I get one more here. We'll take you. So that was that step, and now we can upgrade our trains. And the first thing I'm going to do actually is bring up the depot. I'm surprised there's only one train in the depot right now. I thought I'd sent more trains than that to the depot. No. Well, there's another train. And the reason why I'm here is I wanted to talk through all of the different engines that I have right now. I have unlocked several new locomotives, and I feel like it's just worth a quick review. We started with the SD10. We unlocked at the same time the SDF10 and the ST20. I haven't used the SDF10 at all. It is the only steam locomotive that can run both forward and backward. So all of my trains only go forward at this point, and I've designed my rails so they only need to go forward. If you want to design your rails so you can have trains that can run in both directions, your two options are to put locomotives at both the front and the back of the train, which works, or to use the SDF10, which is a single locomotive which can go in both directions. Unfortunately, power-wise, it's a little bit weaker than the SD20. And so it's only really useful if you have specific places that you want to be using it. And so that's why I've had that locomotive, but I just haven't been using it at all. We also have the two trolley or trams, the TT10 and the ET10, which is the coal-powered tram and the electric-powered tram. And then we have the two new locomotives, which I've unlocked recently because I've been producing bricks, the SD30 and the SD40. And the SD40 is actually a DLC train. I have the DLC locomotives pack, and so the SD40 comes from that pack. And of course, the SD40 is faster than the SD30. But if we look at the cars or the wagons that the trains carry, our options at this point are the SD30 wagon, which has a top speed of 70 kilometers per hour, so it actually goes fast enough for the SD40 locomotive. And then the three cargo wagons, the flat wagon F10, the box wagon B10, and the gondola wagon G10, all of which have a top speed of only 50 kilometers per hour. So the SD30 has a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour. And so it's really fast enough to carry all of the cargo trains. But if I have passenger trains, I can use the SD40. The problem here is they're sharing the same rails. The SD40 can go faster in principle, but it's going to end up running into the SD30. Or the SD30s, the slower trains, will just be in the way of the faster SD40 trains a lot of the time. But I'm going to go ahead and use both the SD30s and the SD40s, the SD30s for cargo, the SD40 for the passenger trains. This is going to be a returning thing. Once I upgrade to diesel, for a while I will be using the same engines for both the cargo trains and the passenger trains. But eventually, again, I will split and I will have faster passenger trains than the cargo trains. And at some point, I'm going to have to think about my rail network and see if I can redesign my network in a way that will let me take advantage of the faster speed of the passenger trains. So to upgrade trains, we can use the upgrade tool. As far as I know, this tool doesn't allow you to add cars to trains. And it turns out that's going to be a problem. Can I have the list of trains open as well? I can. And that's going to be a problem because I'm going to want to add cars to many of these trains. And so I'm going to use the upgrade tool basically for the trains that I can. And then for the rest of the trains, we'll have to do it sort of the more complicated way. So let's take a look. Madrid Workers to Industries, this train needs to be longer. Coal delivery, this train probably should be longer. Potatoes delivery should be longer. Stone to Madrid should be longer. I need to change one of the cars anyway. Fish delivery. Why are the trains in this order? Already is longer, so this one I can just do directly. So this one wants to be an SD30, and there we go. And if we bring you up, you should see the new longer train coming out of the depot with the faster engine. And as I'm doing all of this, I am also going to have to keep an eye on my coal in the warehouse, because every time I launch a new train, it's going to want more coal. The Traveler's Train, I don't think I need to add cars to this. I might be wrong about that. But I'm just going to keep it the current length for now. There you go. Vatican Workers to Industries. Again, I don't think I need more cars on this one. So we will just do you directly. Which Madrid? I've already extended you. I will change you back to an SD30. You should be the correct length, right? Let me check. Watch the train coming out, make sure I'm actually doing all of this correctly. Yeah, there we go. Cot to Nicosia, this one I'm going to need to extend the length. Clothing, that's going to need to be longer. Wheat to Manama definitely needs to be longer. Bread delivery needs to be longer. Manama Workers, I think you are good. I think we just want to put the faster locomotive on this train and let it go. Wheat to Manama. Are you? Your order is getting scrambled as I'm doing this. Great. I already looked at you. Bread delivery needs to be longer. Even if I haven't already looked at you, I have now. Nicosia Workers, we're okay on the length of this train for now. I may need to make you longer someday, but we'll just do it. I have a second bread delivery train. I will not need 2 bread delivery trains at this point, so that's a different problem. Clay delivery is already long, so we will upgrade you to the SD30. And Brickworks Local is just the tram, and Bricks Delivery is already long, so we will upgrade you. Those are all the trains that I can upgrade with this upgrade tool, because I don't think I can change the lengths of the trains from this tool. And so for all the other trains, we'll have to make a little more effort. what we will do, I think the best way to do this is bring up the depot and then copy the train that I want. Yeah, there we go. And then for this train that I've copied, all right, this was created accidentally, so let me just sell you. And for the trains that I want, manually add everything. You're not actually going to go in the right place, are you? No, of course not. Fine. Actually, for a passenger train, it's all new wagons anyway, so yes. How am I doing? I don't know how many passenger wagons I can actually put on this thing at this point. So I'm currently at 20.2. I currently have 11 passenger wagons. If I put on one more, that'll be 21.7. Okay, so you're still fine. And return you to this route and deploy. And I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a way that's at least somewhat efficient, and I do not think I have figured that out. So coal delivery, that's a little troubling. We'll have to figure that out. But, oh, if I duplicated, that means this is still the original train. Yes. And so now you just sell? I think I have to. Well, I'll let it deliver here and then sell it. I don't know if there's really an efficient way to both upgrade the engines on trains and change the lengths of trains at the same time. And so you're bringing a whole bunch of tired workers back to Madrid. They won't make it, sorry. And so, okay, again, my train numbering is just getting completely wacky. I will just have to accept that fact. And then, so this is the coal delivery train, which is idle for some reason. Is doing it this way make any sense at all? We will send you to the train depot. If we just send all of the trains that we need to upgrade to the depot, and then we can add things to them there. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'll try doing it this way. If there's an efficient way to do this, I don't know what it is. Let's see, Travelers already has the faster engine. I decided you were probably long enough. You already have the faster engine. You already have your faster engine. You need to be upgraded. You need to be upgraded. So this will be more than a little disruptive to all of my deliveries, but it can't really be helped. You're good, right? Yes. And you are good? Yes. And you're good? Yes. And you are good? And you're fine. And I know you are good at this point. And you are good. Okay, so I've now sent a bunch of trains to the depot. Let me come to the depot and start sending them on their way. So which trains do we need? This train, we can just sell the entire thing. This train, we can sell the entire thing. This train, we want a new engine. Okay, this is incredibly awkward. And then we can sell this engine, and then we'll just duplicate until we get to 12. So yeah, it's like it's 22.2, but fortunately that's not a problem. And now we can send you back out. Stone to Madrid, we want to, first of all, change you to stone. And add the additional cars. And then again, we want an ST30, wherever you get added, down at the bottom, of course. Maybe I should be doing this from the bottom to the top because of the size of the window. I will maybe figure out how to make this less painful at some point, and then send you back out. And so let's do that. Add all of these, and then a new engine. Yeah. And send you back out. Trains are coming in as fast as they're going out. And I have 2 different bread delivery trains, and I don't actually need that. So I'm just going to delete this one. And deploy clothing delivery train. And now we have a wheat train. And the cotton train. And the bread train. And there you go. And we do actually need one entirely new train. We need the sand train. So that's a gondola wagon, right? Yes. We'll go ahead and lock goods as always. Missed. Sand delivery. Deploy. Alright, now if we've done it right, when we look at our routes, we have trains on all of our routes, except for potatoes to south, which is no longer needed. And coal to Nicosia and Manama, which is no longer needed. But all of my other routes have trains. I think all of my trains are now upgraded. We will find out. And at the moment, we supposedly have no problems. If we can believe that, I don't know if we can. And we've done this. We've done that upgrade. We've done that upgrade. And so the next thing for us to do is build an iron mine. So I think the thing to do at this point is give my new trains a chance to run for a while on their new routes. I'm probably just going to watch things for a little while offline, make sure that everything's working the way that I want it to, or check to see if everything is working the way that I hope it will, perhaps is the way to say it. And then come back next time, I will report on that, and then we will move on to building out the iron mine and start producing steel. So there we go. That, I think, is our plan. I think this is a good place to stop for this episode. So this is where I say, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I see you again. And thanks for watching.